We can send a man to the moon, but we still don't have a pill that will regrow hair. Oh, we're recording. Get it together, Matt. There are some amazing technological advancements and inventions that are coming your way fast. One minute you buy the latest piece of tech and the next it seems outdated. But while smartphones and other devices are incrementally upgraded each and every year, there are new technologies in the works that are going to transform your life forever. Here are 10 unbelievable inventions you can own soon. Number 10 are holograms. Display manufacturers are working hard to miniaturize electronics so that displays can be smaller and less intrusive. This has resulted in foldable smartphones, TV screens that can be rolled up, and efficient smartwatch displays. However, there's another type of technology which could render all of those screens redundant. Screenless displays are not only being worked on, but are nearly ready for commercial release. In fact, some projection and hologram technologies have already made it to market. These will create high-fidelity three-dimensional projections which appear to hover in space. Early versions of this use LEDs attached to fans or projections on glass, but there are newer technologies which will first project images directly into the eye and then finally hologram experiences fed straight to your brain. There's one industry in particular that I could think of that this will revolutionize, and I can't say what it is, but it's not music. Let's just leave it at that. Number 9 is meatless meat. Meat production requires large amounts of land on which to ethically raise animals. This contributes to habitat loss as well as, well, methane production, which significantly increases greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Farts, people. Talking about farts. There are also projections that we will not be able to meet food demand as the human population grows. Meatless meat has been created to solve these problems. Instead of meat from an animal, this meat is grown in a lab using stem cells. At first, this was highly expensive, with one burger costing tens of thousands of dollars. Now, however, the cost of this technology has markedly decreased. Soon, you'll be able to order a steak without worrying about cruelty or contributing to environmental damage. Being served the steak by a person in a white lab coat, however, might not set the best ambiance for a good meal. And if you really want to be environmentally conscious, try an Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat, but that's a whole nother thing. Number 8 is Interstellar Travel. There are certain technologies which seem so difficult to engineer that they seem decades, if not centuries, away from being developed. Interstellar travel between the stars is a great example. The distance is so vast that it would take us tens of thousands of years to reach the nearest star. However, sometimes breakthroughs come out of nowhere and make the impossible possible. It may surprise you to know that there are a number of research projects exploring new technologies to help us send probes to other stars. New nanotechnology could be used to send microscopic robots to the nearest star in just a few years. With no human crew and weighing almost nothing, they could be sent to Alpha Centauri, for example, and beam back data to us, or even do the round trip within a couple of decades. I like to call this tiny Star Wars. Yes. Number 7 is the Tricorder. In the TV series Star Trek, medical staff use a piece of equipment called a tricorder. This handheld device looks like a smartphone and can scan a person's body, run immediate tests, and give a precise diagnosis. Despite medical advances in the real world, there are many diagnostic tests which are invasive and cause real distress. Some of these tests take time to assess and process, which may even cost lives. Luckily, things are about to change. There are several companies working on tricorder-like devices as we speak. The hope is that with a simple breath into the handheld device, a doctor will be able to diagnose illnesses immediately, catching them early and significantly improving survival. This is fantastic news, though unfortunately, such a device doesn't come with a cranky doctor named Bones. Number 6 is new power sources. There are technologies that exist which will make our lives better. Unfortunately, some of these technologies are waiting in the wings. Why? Because they cannot reach their full potential until new power sources are developed. Thankfully, we're already seeing a positive environmental impact from renewable energy, but there are new batteries which will mean devices can run for longer and more efficiently. On top of this, there is what's known as new wave nuclear power. These advanced fission reactors are modular in design, and instead of having one large power plant, they use smaller, safer reactors networked around the world. This technology is better for the environment, produces less waste, and will meet our rapid power needs, especially if you like to Netflix and chill while listening to music and cooking food. Ain't multitasking great? Number 5 is DNA storage. Electronics companies are searching for the next big thing in storage. Because of the shift from physical media to streaming and cloud services, the amount of storage required for all this information is insanely huge. What's more, it continues to grow at an almost exponential rate. But instead of higher capacity hard drives, a novel solution may have been with us this entire time. In fact, it may have been within us. Our DNA contains a vast amount of information. It houses all of the instructions required to grow our bodies. Researchers are now developing technologies to use DNA as a storage medium. In the not too distant future, server centers in our devices may use biological engineered DNA to store information at unprecedented capacities. To put this into perspective, 1 square meter of DNA can store the entire world's data for a year. You go, magical bloody walking computer! Number 4 is home retail. A decade ago, we were told how 3D printers were going to revolutionize manufacturing. Since then, the technology has come on leaps and bounds. It's now possible to buy a 3D printer for your own home at a relatively low cost. Alongside the lowering cost of 3D printing, engineers and scientists have also been developing new materials for these printers. This has huge implications for the relationship between a consumer and the manufacturer. It's already possible to buy a product online and then have your 3D printer create that product in front of your very own eyes. This will soon apply to many other items. In other words, there will soon be no need for large manufacturing factories or deliveries. Sorry, Amazon. In this sense, our own homes will become our very own personalized retail outlets. Another reason to stay in my pajamas all day and not go shopping. Great. Number 3 are remote offices. Many of you have to go to a place to actually do your job. Some jobs will still require this model, but the communications revolution, which gathered pace from the 1980s onward, now makes it possible for many to work from home. You can turn your own home into a remote office. Freelancers have been doing this for a long time, working from a spare room, a coffee shop, or even their beds. The option to use a laptop and get all of your work done without a time-consuming commute is becoming more common due to better technology. In fact, some employers are realizing that they can save money on office space by letting their staff work from home. This will soon become the norm for many people, and it's also a great way to get away from George, who constantly cracks his knuckles in the other cubicle. George! Number 2 is robotics. Science fiction has warned us for over 100 years about the robotics revolution. Today, people like Elon Musk have even suggested caution against such technology. However, market forces mean that robots are here, and in the next few years, they will become commonplace in our lives. Boston Dynamics has produced a number of humanoid and canine-like robots for use in the home, during war, and in heavy industries. They're ready to bring these robots to market now. Other companies are doing the same. Imagine no longer having to do domestic chores or being able to send your robot to shop for groceries. More fundamentally, countries like Japan are using robots to care for a growing elderly population. Robots are going to enhance our lives and eliminate our enemies. I mean, make things better for everyone. And number 1 is human augmentation. Ever since early humans made hunting tools, we've always had a relationship with technology that's something outside of us. In the future, however, technology isn't just going to be outside of us, it will be part of who we are. Human augmentation is already here. With each year, we're seeing innovation in microchip implants and devices allowing us to interface with technology. When this becomes affordable, less intrusive, and more effective, we're literally going to augment all of our capacities. Our intellect will become vastly enriched. We'll be able to jump higher, run faster, and learn complex skills in seconds. A combination of biological and electronic enhancements may even be the next step in evolution, where we become something other than human entirely. That's right, Matt 2.0. Yes, get ready for it. But as always, thank you so much for watching, for liking this video, and for subscribing to my channel. And a very special thank you to all of my channel members, especially the names you see on your screen right now. Every single one of you helps keep my channel going. I'll see you guys in the next video.